everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my 2023 releases video. So I like to do these releases videos every year. As you guys know, if you've been around for a while, they're one of my most favorite videos to film because I love checking out the upcoming releases for a year, just so I'm aware of everything that's on the radar as well. But I also want to ask at the beginning of this, if you guys have any 2023 releases that you are so amped for, it doesn't matter the genre, please let me know down below and I will check them out because I am always open to more recommendations. I'm also going to be going through my pre-order list here for 2023 because I'm very excited about the pre-orders that I've got lined up and that I've already pre-ordered. So without further ado, we're just gonna get into this, my friends. All right, so I got my Goodreads open. I have a 2023 releases list on here that I've just been kind of compiling for a little while. There are 37 books on here currently. So we're gonna kind of go through this a little quick, bear with me. I'll scooch over to the side so I can put the covers here. First and foremost, we have something that is, I believe, a middle grade. It's called The Grace of Wild Things by Heather Fawcett. This one has an unknown publishing date, but I'm pretty sure it's expected in February. So this one is like a fantasy reimagining of Anne of Green Gables, and I just so excited about it. The next one is Barrow of Winter by H.M. Long, my lovely friend Hannah. This is her third book that she's releasing. She's actually got 2 coming out next year, which is crazy. So this is the first one. This is coming out January, the beginning of January. This is the 3rd book in her Hall of Smoke companion series, and this follows Thray, who is the half-immortal daughter of a winter god. She is a teenager or a 12-year-old in the previous book, so this is her story a little bit later on, and I'm very excited about it. And it sounds like a perfect winter read because it's set in like the icy, frigid norths if she's trying to figure out something. The next one is just listed as 2023, but it is by Tara Sim, who wrote City of Dusk, which was a really lovely fantasy novel that I read earlier this year. This one's called We Shall Be Monsters. It also has yet to have a cover, so that gives me a little bit of, maybe this might not be published in 2023, but we shall see. But it essentially just says Mary Shelley meets Indian mythology, where I need it. I need it now. Mary Shelley meets Indian mythology, please give it to me. I'm so excited about this. I'm truly so excited about it. And then I'm gonna kind of loop this one into like a bunch because we all know Brandon Sanderson, the king of fantasy. Where is my Brandon Sanderson? Oh, here it is. Is releasing like 4 novels this year coming up because he wrote 5 during the pandemic, like some freaking machine. So they're all being released individually. So I have one of them listed here as just Secret Project number 1. There's a whole bunch. There's like 4 of them, and they're being released periodically throughout the year. And I believe Tor has picked them up as well, so they are being published beyond just the Kickstarter that he did, which is nice because then you can actually, like myself, if you wanted the physical copy but couldn't get it because it was so expensive, you can now get the physical copy when Tor publishes them. So excited about that. We're gonna have lots of Brandon Sanderson content this year for sure. Then on this list I have Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. This one is suspected to be released bright and early in January 3rd, I do believe. And I'm very excited about this one. I love Talia Hibbert. Talia Hibbert has written some of my favorite rom-coms. They're right here, these 3 of the Brown sisters. This one is a YA though, so I'm a little skeptical about it, but it's Talia Hibbert and I do trust her with my rom-com stuff, so I'm excited about it. So it's about a content creator and a clean-cut athlete who test their ability to survive in the great outdoors and each other. So I'm excited about it. And the cover is adorable. Then we have our first sequel on this list, well and true sequel. It is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. This is the sequel to Ninth House, which is too high on my shelf for me to grab, but this is the long-awaited sequel, I should clarify. Very excited about this one because I really enjoyed Ninth House when it came out, and when I read it originally a couple years ago, it was that perfect mix of dark academia and fantasy that I like, so I'm excited to see where this goes from here. I don't actually know how many books there are going to be in this series. If this is the last one, if this is the second in a trilogy or more, I'm not entirely sure because we know Leigh likes to do like duologies or trilogies, so who knows. Then we have God Killer by Hannah Kaner. And this one, I don't really know anything about. I just really like the cover, and it's been all over social media, like being like promoted and stuff like that. So I'm excited about it. It's expected early January, January 19th. This is about Kissen, who kills gods for a living, and she enjoys it. That is until she finds a god that she cannot kill, a god of white lies, who's connected to a little noble girl on the run. So it follows them. It follows someone named Elogast, who meets the god killer, a little girl and a little littler god, and who cannot find out about his quest. So it's like a mystery, high fantasy situation. I don't know, but the cover's gorgeous. So that's why it's on this list. I'm very excited about it. Up next, we have Spice Road by Maya Ibrahim. This is an epic fantasy series pitched as like an Arabian inspired fantasy, which is very exciting. The cover, again, absolutely beautiful. I think this one's supposed to be a YA as well, if I remember correctly. Up next, we have Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun, which is the third in the Finlay Donovan is Killing It series. I looked at my shelves like I didn't remove all of my literary fiction off my shelves and into a different place, but I love these books. These books are so stupidly fun and like the perfect amount of absurd that I love. I love reading these kind of books. This is the third. I don't know how many there's gonna be, but I hope there's a ton because Finlay Donovan is a single mom and an author, and in the first book she gets roped into this scheme of like killing people for money, essentially, because she gets overheard in a coffee shop talking about the plot of her book to her agent, and someone overhears her thinking that she's actually a killer for hire. So very fun, lots of antics. Next up, we have something called The Wicked Bargain by Gabe Cole Novoa? Sure, I'm not entirely sure, but I, again, know nothing about this. This one's expected in February. This is El Diablo is in the details in this Latinx pirate fantasy starring a transmasculine non-binary teen with a mission of revenge, redemption, and revolution. Oh, yep, that's why it's on this list. That sounds amazing. Next up, we have another sequel that I'm excited about. The Cage of Dark Hours by Marina J. Lostetter. This is coming out February 14th. I'm excited about it. This is the sequel to The Helm of Midnight. That is this one right here. This one right here. This one, which is the like horror fantasy that I really enjoyed earlier this year, like surprisingly enjoyed. So I'm excited about this sequel to see what like it is, because I feel like that one could have stood very well on its own. There are a few open-ended threads at the end that I'm intrigued to see how this expands the world, of course. It's got really interesting magic. It's got magic with like masks and stuff. And that one follows somebody trying to take down the mask, someone who stole the mask of a serial killer who's now killing people. And I'm excited to see where it goes from there. Next, we have a rom-com, another rom-com. This one's called Always the Almost. And the reason why this is on this list, this is by Edward Underhill. The reason why this is on this list is because it's about a pianist, and I play piano. If you guys didn't know, I play piano, and I've been playing piano for like 21 years, and I teach it as well. So this is about a trans pianist who makes a New Year's resolution on a frozen Wisconsin night to win regionals and win back his ex, but a new boy complicates things in Edward Underhill's heartfelt debut, a YA rom-com. So y'all know that I'm not the biggest fan of YA rom-coms or YA books in general anymore. They just don't do it for me. Like, I love them. I love them to pieces. A lot of the rom-coms just don't do it for me anymore because I am a cynic. Reading about young people falling in love and thinking that they found the one makes me cringe so hard. But because it's about a pianist and he's trans, I had to add it to this list because it sounds really good. So we'll find out. The next one on this list is The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chokshi. Roshani Chokshi is the one who wrote the Gilded Wolves series. It's, again, too high up on my shelves for me to reach. This is her first, I believe, high fantasy, like adult fantasy, I think, but it's gothic, which I'm immediately intrigued by. And it's a sumptuous gothic-infused story about a marriage that is unraveled by dark secrets of friendship cursed to end in tragedy and the danger of believing in fairy tales. I've since seen a few people on the internet reviewing this, reading this, and saying that it has like teeth and it's like a delicious read, and I'm amped. Truly, truly amped, and the cover is gorgeous. What is it? The cover game this year is just on fire. I love it so much. Now we have one of my most anticipated of like my entire life, and that is A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon, I'm so excited, I'm so excited, I'm so excited. This is the prequel to Priory of the Orange Tree, which is one of my favorite fantasy novels of all time. It's queer, it's dragons, and I'm so excited about this because it's, as I said, a prequel. So we're gonna get a lot of the history that occurs before Priory that is like mentioned in Priory and stuff like that. I'm so excited. Next up is another one that I'm fairly excited for. It's The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi by S.A. Chakraborty. S.A. Chakraborty is the author of the City of Brass series that I've only read the first one of. I'm excited about this one because this one is piratey. We're gonna see a theme of pirates this year, guys, and I am so excited that pirates are finally getting a little bit of uptick in popularity. I truly am so excited. This has got like sorcerers and pirates and forbidden artifacts and ancient mysteries. I don't know, but this is coming out in March. I'm very excited, truly. Next up, we have The Foxglove King by Hannah Whitten. Hannah Whitten, I believe, is she the one who wrote For the Wolf and For the Throne? Those ones, I think? I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But this one looks really good and I've heard really good things about it. So it's a romantic new epic fantasy series, the beginning of such, where a young woman's secret power to raise the dead plunges her into a dangerous and glamorous world of the sainted king's royal court. So again, coming out in March. This one is fantasy romance, intriguing. We got another sequel. We got another sequel, my guy. It's Arca, which is the sequel to Scorpica, which is one of my like almost favorites of the entire year. I absolutely love this, and this series has the potential to be one of my favorite series of all time. So I am so excited to get the sequel, truly. And this cover is absolutely gorgeous. Like, I like it even more than Scorpica's cover. It is stunning. But yeah, sequel, returning to the 5 queendoms in Scorpica, following all those epic storylines. So excited to see where it goes from there. Then we have The Surviving Sky by Kritika Rao. This is a Hindu philosophy inspired debut science fantasy. So it's a science fiction and fantasy combined that follows a husband and a wife racing to save their living city and their troubled marriage. I believe I follow Kritika on TikTok and she's done so much content that's just so intriguing to me that like makes me want to read this book like right now. I think she's like compared it to like Pride and Prejudice and like other different like romance type stuff. So excited. It's also listed here as being queer, so I don't know how that's gonna pull in, but I'm excited. I'm excited. Next one is also coming out in April is Emily Henry's Happy Place. This one is, of course, if you guys know, the Queen Emily Henry. We love Beach Read and Book Lovers. Those are some of my favorite books. I'm so excited for Happy Place. It's one of the ones though that I'm like least excited about that she's written because it has the trying to save an old relationship vibe, which is a trope that I don't necessarily love. I don't already like established relationships. I like reading the tension and the will they won't they have a new relationship in books. So we'll see how I feel about this one. Then we got the king himself. We got Rick Riordan coming out with 2 books this year. He's coming out with one where he partnered with Mark Oshiro to write this. It is the long-awaited Nico D'Angelo book that we've all been waiting for. I'm so excited. This is called The Sun and the Star. I truly am so excited, and it's gonna follow our babies, Nico D'Angelo and Will Solis, and they're going to Tartarus. I'm not excited about that, but I'm so excited to have our babies on page, and I'm excited to see how Rick does it with a like co-author. I'm intrigued to see how that comes across because Rick's writing is some of my favorite writing of all time. I don't have the other book he's releasing this year in this list. What? Hold on, let me go find it. Oh, it's called The Chalice of the Gods. It's coming, I think, later September. September 26th is when it's predicted to be coming. So very excited about that. And that one, we're getting our main man Percy back on page as our narrator. So excited. I think if Rick considers it the 6th Percy Jackson book, I assume we're getting Percy as the narrator, so amazing. And college-age Percy too? I'm so excited. Next up, we have Dragonfall by Laura Lamb, or L.R. Lamb, I guess. This one's on this list because it's got a dragon on the cover, and it's called Dragonfall. Long-banished dragons, revered as gods, return to the mortal realm in the first of this, Goodreads has a typo, of this magical new epic fantasy trilogy from best-selling author. Next up, another sequel. We got a couple sequels on here, as is true to my form. We have Painted Devils, which is the sequel by Margaret Owen to Little Thieves, which is one of my 5 stars from this year. Absolutely loved it. So excited about continuing this book, this series. We love it. The next one is The Battle Drum by Sara El Arifi. This is the sequel to The Final Strife, which came out earlier this year, which I didn't love. So I'm going to be a little wary going into the sequel, but I wanted to mention it anyways because it is coming out and we should always support authors. Oh, this cover is beautiful. So we'll see how people seem to like the sequel before I dive into it, but it's still going on this list because it's still exciting. Next up, we have The Witch King by Martha Wells. Martha Wells is the author of the Murderbot series. If you're aware of Murderbot, I need to get my life together and read more Murderbot, but this one is her fantasy debut, I want to say. I don't actually know, but it's got, essentially it says, after being murdered, his consciousness dormant and unaware of the passing time while confined in an elaborate water trap, Kai awakes to find a lesser mage attempting to harness Kai's magic to his own advantage. That was never going to go well. Something about this Kai person having to do a lot of things with like demons. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. I'm excited. Then we have my favorite cover of the year, which is Dark Water Daughter by H.M. Long. So this is the second book that we're getting from H.M. Long this year. This is the start of another series by her, an actual concurrent series, not just a companion series like Hollow Smoke is. This, my friends, follows a storm singer and a pirate hunter who join forces against a deathless pirate in this swashbuckling Jacobean adventure on the high seas. I'm buzzing. I want this book in my hands. This is coming out in July. Next up, The Saint of Bright Doors by Vajra Chandrasekhara. I totally butchered that, I'm so sorry. I know very little about this. It has so few tags on Goodreads. This also comes out in July. It's got about, okay, nestled at the head of a supercontinent framed by sky and sea lies Luriat, the city of bright doors. Doors are everywhere in the city, squatting in walls where they don't belong, painted in vivid warning. They watch over a city of art and avarice, of plagues and pogroms, and silently refuse to open. Oh my god, is this a portal world? Oh my god, is it a portal world? I've never read the description in that. It just looks pretty. I'm sorry. Up next, we have the third and final from Essa Hansen. Third and final? Yes. Essa Hansen's like genre-bending space opera situation, which started with Nofet Gloss. This one is Ethera Grave. I have only read Nofet Gloss, and I need to get to the next one, Azura Ghost. I am excited about this one as well. This one we're kind of going back to the purple cover, which is cool. But yeah, I really like it. I just looked here and it says, perfect for fans of The Expanse and A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet? No. No. Do not compare action-packed roller coaster space operas to Becky Chambers. Goodreads? No. I know it's not Goodreads' fault. That's the publisher's fault. Anyways, nothing like Becky Chambers. Next one on this list is The Sun and the Void by Gabriela Romero Lacruz. I am so excited about this and I know nothing about it. Truly nothing. All that I know is that the cover is beautiful. And I follow Gabriela Romero Lacruz on I believe TikTok and Instagram. She's just so excited about this, like about her book, and I can feel the passion coming through the screen. This one is set in a lush world inspired by the history and folklore of South America. So it's a sweeping epic fantasy of colonialism and country, ancient magic, and a young woman's quest for belonging. Next, we have the supposed release of Shelley Parker Chan's second in the duology of The Radiant Emperor, which is She Who Became the Sun. This one is called He Who Drowned the World, and it's suspected to be released August 22nd. I don't know if this is true or not. There's no cover. Every time there's not a cover, I am sus of these release dates, but I hope we're getting it this year because I loved She Who Became the Sun and I'm so excited to see the second in this duology. Next up, we have the second in another duology, which is Heavenly Tyrant by Xuan Jie Zhao. This is the second to Iron Widow. I am intrigued by this to see kind of where it goes from where we ended in Iron Widow. This one is just this cover is so cool. Like, I am so, God, the cover game in 2023, outstanding. Next up, we have a Cassandra Clare. Oh, I missed a Cassandra Clare earlier. There's also Chain of Thorns, but like we all know this. There is a supposed high fantasy adult series coming from Cassandra Clare, and I put it on this list because I love it. It's called The Sword Catcher, and I trust Cassandra Clare with my life, because every time I try and be like, no, I don't like Cassandra Clare books, they're so angsty, da, 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 I pick one up and I just consume it at top speed, and it is a new full obsession. She has like crack laced in her books. So the fact that she is coming out with something that is not Shadowhunters and that is an adult fantasy, sign me up. Sign me up. I'm so excited. But yes, so hopefully this comes out in September like it's expected to. I'm also like, I also get really like suspect about stuff like this when you don't have like actual announcements from the publisher and stuff like that. And I do follow all these publishers and the authors online, so I would see if there was something released. The next one is again one that I'm a little bit suspect about. It's by Hafsa Faisal, who is the author of the We Hunt the Flame duology. This one is a King Arthur meets Peaky Blinders with vampires duology, my friends. This is called A Tempest of Tea. I'm so excited. Guys, King Arthur meets Peaky Blinders with vampires. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. I don't even need to look at the rest of it. All right, my friends, I think we got like, yeah, we got one more. No, we don't have any more. That was the last on my list because the next one is the Percy Jackson and then the 4th Brandon Sanderson book. How excited are you about 2023? How excited are you about these book releases coming out? I'm so amped. Please tell me about more that aren't on my list because I will add them to my Goodreads and I will just keep my eyes open and read them all. So, my pre-orders, I'm gonna run through them that I've done this year. I've decided that I'm gonna try and not pre-order as many new authors that I don't know about, because this year I was burned by many of them by pre-ordering something, finding out the author was problematic later and having to cancel the pre-order, or getting the book in the mail and not being able to return it because it was too far gone by the time I found out the author was problematic. I'm gonna just stay with my main people this year as much as I can. There are a few on here that I've thrown in that I'm just so excited about that I need to have on my shelves. So we will find out. But in January I have 3. I have Hellbent, Spice Road, and Barrow of Winter. Spice Road is the only one that I don't know anything about the author and I've never read anything from them before. But that cover though. So I need it on my shelves. In February, I have Chain of Thorns, which I didn't actually talk about in this video, but it's another Cassandra Clare, and A Day of Fallen Night, of course. Then in March, I have Arca, which is the sequel to Scorpica, and Adventures of Amina El-Sarafi, which is the piratey book by S.A. Chakraborty, which I'm excited about. I have none in April as of yet. May, I have 1, which is The Sun and the Star, which is the Rick Riordan. June, I have The Surviving Sky by Kritika Rao that I've talked about. July, I have Dark Water Daughter by H.M. Long, because I'm just so excited. August, we have He Who Drowned the World, which was up for pre-order, so that gives me a little bit more comfort that it is going to come out this year because it's up for pre-order. So I just haven't heard anything about it online, so who knows. Nothing in September, and only one in October, which is The Chalice of the Gods, which is the Percy Jackson book, and then nothing in November and December. So I'm being very picky this year with my pre-orders because, 1, my pre-orders this year got a little bit out of hand and I did buy too many books just in general. So I need to calm down with my pre-orders. 2023 is going to be a banging year, and I know there's so many more that I'm missing. So please, again, tell me down below what you're excited about to read in 2023. And my friends, that's it from me. You'll see me. I will catch you. We'll all be together in another video very, very soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.